we have this desire, all of us, I think, have this desire to really activate our soul purpose, like get what that is. And rather than looking at it like, oh, like this is your sole purpose, it's more about just embodying a way of being in the world that allows you to express yourself more and more in a sense of freedom. And that's why I think the raw movement is so on point, because we are all craving to be real and to be, unapologetically authentic. And the more we can cultivate and activate that freedom among all of us women and really create what's next for us collectively, the more generosity we'll be able to just also birth forth, because there's so many things that are constricting us from showing up fully. So imagine a world where women are showing up in their fullness, which is this just your you-ness, right? There's nothing to get. It's just about you feeling comfortable enough in your body and your soul to be you.
I talked about the outdated patriarchal paradigm. So really you talk, which is scarcity and lack. So you're talking about the matriarchal where there is enough. It's inhabiting a world where enoughness is the order, not enoughness.
Understanding our innate sense of worth instead of having to work to prove anything.
I'm going to be raw. So before we got on, I said to Maria, I feel like I had rage come up, like why am I putting on makeup? And why do I think I need to look a certain way? Why, just that feminine that's like, I exist in my full force and that's it. Nothing added, nothing taken away. And then, of course, it was Maria, because people can hold space for your intensity or your darkness to the extent that they have gone into theirs. People cannot take you further than they've gone themselves, which allowed me to very quickly get in touch with what was under the rage, which was a profound sadness about the position we still find ourselves in, the clumsiness that I find sometimes in these interviews, how heavy the words are, belabored, as opposed to there's a way that I know in our essence, we as women, like I could just connect with Maria in her energy and those words become redundant, and that we've lost that. I just got chills. And we long for that. We long for that shared space, shared energy, being touched by each other without words and meanings and interpretations and trying and expressing. It's being together.
To say, I honor you for going there. I'm so glad that you're going there, privileged to be here in this moment, to create this sacred, raw space and to be able to hold it with you, because this is like what it is, right? Like, this is it.
This is it. You see, we come to you and I try and ask the questions that will be the most helpful, and whoever's here wants to share the most that's helpful. But there's a self-consciousness in all of that, just by nature. And I know, like, so profoundly that the desire to just be seen and heard and know we matter, and that's enough in this moment. Whether you never make $1 million, $10 million, whether you, whatever, implicit in bringing a message of where to go is the potential for you to hear where you're not. And this energy is about us embodying our godliness, our love, our essence, so that, and this is what came up with Maria. I said, do you know that teenage girls, and this breaks my heart, teenage girls in COVID, in the States at least, suicide rate has increased 200%. The women need to embody so that they have hope. We need to now be that they see, oh, that's where we get to go. Not that it's hopeless, that, well, what's the point? Look, anything can just happen. No, we get to, so we flow. So we chart a new course that allows something, and that is solution-oriented being for them to look to and step toward. Okay. I would like to just take a moment and send love to those little kids who are Their school stopped, everything they knew got turned upside down, and their psyches weren't ready. So we just get to send all the love in the universe, all the light, all the healing, all of us watching this. Let's do that to all the children and all the souls coming in now. And as we do that, we feel that love and grace and freedom filling us.
I'm so completely aligned with what you're saying. And, you know, one of the things that was coming up as you were guiding us through that so beautifully is number one, what a blessing that you exist and that we get to take ourselves on in courageous ways to show up for what we believe in. This is the path of the raw woman. This is the path of the creatrix. This is what I believe in. And I'm so aligned with what you're saying. And there is such it feels like a distorted message out there that calls us into all the things that are possible to create in the world that have to do with money, power, you know, all these things, which, as we were just saying, I also believe that there is that part of the code we get to download right now is to activate that spiritual service from a standpoint of abundance and absolute flow, which means money.
And wealth,
Yes, wealth.
which
Yes.
meaning that, you know, going back a little bit,
Yes.
well-being. So
Yes.
there's money, that's
Yes.
part of your well-being.
Yes. Like
Yeah.
we get to radically transform a relationship with it because that's part of the code we get to break collectively as women.
See,
And
can I say
yeah,
something?
please, yeah.
Hold your thought, please don't lose it. But I think what Maria's hovering around that we haven't said in here is it's about that money being a symbol, that money being a particular validation, that money being a particular proof. That doesn't work for us. That's not what we took on. We took on to do the work and let that come out of it, because that is what living faith is. We're living our faith. It comes after. So it comes as recognition, not validation, not, I don't know if that's, but
yes, yes,
yeah.
Completely. And again, if we look at patriarchal structures, have used that literal like currency of wealth as power, worth, haves and have-nots, who gets it, who doesn't. And, you know, it's only until we, historically speaking, very, very recently in our immediate past that women are now having even the ability to manage their own finances, which again seems like
something like in the 70s or even the 80s, women's husband had to sign.
Yes, exactly.
To get, and
like we're talking like this isn't this is like now. This is 5 minutes ago. And so that is a symbol. And the reason why these conversations come up is because we are in a process of digging into like the deconstruction and the restructuring of these belief systems and these completely outdated patterns, et cetera, et cetera. And one of the things that was coming up as you were expanding on the whole idea of wealth and tied to our worth is that the visionary, you know, light worker, whatever you want to call those of us that we know we're here to impact the world in some meaningful way. You know, if you're here, you're most likely you're one of these incredible beings right now in this lifetime. We can get deterred from those markers of success that can take us away from the true vision and mission of what we're here to do when we allow those markers of, if I, you know, whether it's make X amount of money or achieve a certain barometer of success, whatever it is, that then derails us from the truth of what we're actually here to create. And at the same time, if we aren't present to that, if we're not in a space of awareness and healing our relationship with that which we might find some resistance around, then I think there's something that gets kind of cut off from the fullness of what we're here to do. So it's this dance, right? it's this constant, it's this dance with a tempo that is changing all the time. And as we move through and find the ways to keep sharing our truth, healing ourselves so that we can share our voices, then we're transforming ourselves